Talk, we're back, and I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen when MAGA crashes out, because you know what they're gonna be? Confederate losers. Why? Obviously, the Jack Smith council report tells us that if he hadn't been voted in, by the traitors who betrayed the country, if he hadn't been voted in, he would have been found guilty interfering in our election and literally comforting an insurrection. This means that he would count under the disqualification clause. What does that tell us? That every single person who voted for Donald Trump voted against the United States Constitution. The United States Constitution is the United States of America. Why? Because it was ratified in 1789. What does that mean? It means that it cancels out anything before that because it is legally binding. What does that mean? What does this say? Our favorite government publication that tells us what our responsibilities are. The Citizens Almanac, straight from the publication of the government. I did not write this. What is a patriot? What is a patriot? It's not MAGA. It's not MAGA. And it tells us responsibilities of a citizen. Support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Jack Smith tells us that MAGA did not defend the Constitution against domestic. All of the MAGA voters are just a bunch of traitors. That's crazy. The Constitution establishes the U.S. system of representative democracy and outlines the inherent principles of freedom, liberty, and opportunity to which all citizens are entitled. And MAGA's gonna be like, I have the freedom of all of this and this. I can choose whatever I want. Which is false. Do you know why? Because that would assume that we have unconditional freedoms. We do not. Go to the preamble of the Constitution. If you find the word freedom literally in the preamble, come tell me that I'm wrong in the comments. But you won't, because it's not there. We're not founded on freedom. We're founded on liberty. And that can be limited. Do you know why? Well, obviously we know this through constitutionalism because the Equal Protection Clause exists. It tells us that our liberties can be regulated if at a certain point they become extremely dangerous to an equal person, right? It doesn't say that a fetus is an equal person, but that's another conversation. Here in Federalist 2 by John Jay, Federalist Papers, tells us that nothing is more certain than the indispensable necessity of government. It is equally undeniable that whenever and however it is instituted, the people must see to it some of their natural rights in order to vest it with requisite powers. It tells us that we give over some of our rights to the federal government so that they can work. This means we don't have unconditional freedom. It means we have liberty, but it can be restricted. Why? For the better of the public good. You understand that, MAGA? You don't understand that, right? Because your parents are related. I'm sorry, but no one wanted to date them. It's not anyone's fault. Blame them. Let's go back. The continuity of the nation's unique freedoms depends on the support of its citizens. But MAGA apparently are not citizens, so I guess we should deport them somewhere. Should we? That's crazy. Where to? England doesn't want them. I live there. They make fun of MAGA. They find it embarrassing. Every single country finds it embarrassing. Russia, go there, MAGA. Go there. They love you there. When the Constitution and its ideals are challenged, citizens must defend these principles against all adversaries. Do not find grace in MAGA. Do not. They will be held accountable. Socially, they will be held accountable because they betray the Constitution. They will have a legacy of shame. They will have a legacy of betrayal to the country. They will be remembered. But remember, they're going to crash out. So you got to let them do their thing for a second, but we will hold them accountable to betraying the country. But this just wanted to be a reminder, just so you know that MAGA is not on the right side of history and they will always be ridiculed for it. Great. Fuck you, MAGA.